Hello. Thanks for dropping in. Alright, I've been back to the pool room. And I did find some interesting things, and some not so. Is, it's a box. It's a Speed Bingo Math Cartridge Special. April 26, 91. And of course it's empty. So I'll throw that in the box. Decide whether, I don't know, maybe I'll find the cartridge, maybe I won't. Decide whether it will stay. Here is an episode. A Run magazine from 1989. And for a while, I did write for Run magazine. I did something called the Telecomputing Workshop, but I do not recognize this. Hello, Penny. This is one of the episodes that I was in. I do not. Let's see, is there anything? I really need to put my glasses on. Just wondering if there's any Butterfield gems in here. Oh yeah, the multitasking factor, a demonstration in multitasking, making a computer seemingly do two things at once. Seemingly. Reminds me once when I was on a panel at a show, and there was a fellow who wanted to be able to stream what was coming in over his modem directly to his printer, which of course everyone agreed it wouldn't. It would lock up things, or you couldn't have both of those things open at once. But somebody said on the panel that they might find a way to maybe snag one character from the modem, close off the modem, send it to the or some characters, and essentially it would perhaps work, but it really wouldn't be what this fellow wanted. But it would seem that it was, but it would kind of really fool him into him thinking that that was what was happening. And he said quite joyfully, "I'm prepared to be fooled." Anyway, I don't know if anyone ever did that. So here is the factoring. The multitasking factor. This factoring and prime number generating program demonstrates techniques for emulating multitasking. In other words, it's not really doing it, but maybe it looks like it is. Maybe it is going to be fooled. Anyway, I'll have to look through this. Perhaps I'll type this program in at some point when I have a way to save it. But at the end, and the article is a couple pages long, and it has the program, and it has descriptions of what things do. Pretty fine. Yes, Table 1, program references, yes. Anyway, it says Toronto resident Jim Butterfield is a renowned programmer, writer, and lecturer in the Commodore field. And indeed, that's accurate. He was a gem of a man. A gem. Now, here we have a pet circuit board. And it looks like some parts of it have had a bit of a rough life. Certainly, this port here, it's been used a lot. And the cassette port over here, boy, I think this is where certainly things got to be tidied up. Oh, there's a wire in the back. And it looks like there's been a chip replaced. UD15, I think it is. And I can't really even tell. P212 CM7147N, I think. That's what it says. So let's look what this says here. This is a Universal Dynamic PET Assembly number 003290. So, from what I know of this, this would be a made in Hong Kong. This is the board that they used in the 8032 and the 4032 that had the big screen. And somehow or another, there were things that could be changed and to make the machines different. I can see there are what appear to be wires here like jumpers. So what is this one? I'm not sure. Does it work? I don't know. It certainly doesn't have the 6502 chip. And it could be missing another ROM. I seem to remember there were 2 empty ROM sockets in the PET, but there's another one here. Anyway, this will need to be examined. I think what I will do, as I'm looking down here for anything else, I mean, it's kind of dirty. But wait, we have a toothbrush, and I can gently, very gently, sort of get rid of some of the filth of time. There's nothing horrid, but there's stuff, and certainly there's some corrosion on the connectors. That, oh yeah, some dust on there. That would be something. So I would try some of that magic stuff that I'm gotta wait so I can do the paddles. Indeed. Anyway, there it is. Will it stand up on its own? Oh, it will stand up on its own. There is a universal Commodore PET board. And yes, as I remember it, and you could correct me if I'm wrong, it would be an 8032 or a FAT40, which of course means it also could be a Super PET if it had all the Super PET stuff added to it. And yeah. So I figure what I'm going to do is take this back downstairs to the pet room and put it there for when I do the picture. Maybe I'll try. No, I was gonna say I should try and get that thing off, but I'm not so sure. I don't really, after all this time, I really don't want to hurt all this, and it kind of looks like it might even be kind of rusted on. And some of the chips, they're very hard to read what they are. 6520, 6522, 6520, 65, looks like 45-1. All of these from 1983 or 1982. Some things are socketed. Many things are not. And as I look at these, I would bet I think maybe, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, okay. I think those are the RAM chips, and indeed, it does look like the screen RAM chips are the same. Which is not a bad thing. None of them are socketed, but to test RAM on the early PETs, certainly the best way I knew of, just to get an initial indication, was to take these RAM chips, which were socketed, and put them into a video socket position on a machine you knew was working, and if the screen came up funny, you knew there was something wonky with that. And this may be similar. Anyway, I can't see anything else obviously burned or scorched or blown up. Certainly the board is. You know, it's dusty. It is, but nothing obvious, including this wire. with glue. And definitely this chip here has been, it looks like anyway, replaced, or certainly something has been done to it. There is residue right there. Anyway, so I will take this downstairs. I will put it in the pet room carefully, and at some point it will be assessed to see if it works, what works, etc., etc., etc. Yes. So at the moment, oh, one thing I did say I was going to do is I now have a charging cube right here so that when I am not recording, I can have my microphone easily charging and at the ready. It does not have a monstrous battery in it, but it certainly makes a great big difference on the sound quality. Having it right here, right near my face when I speak, because otherwise I have to kind of yell and the microphone is still a ways away. And really, if you're doing video applications of any sort, having some sort of remote microphone is really much better. At times, what I did in the past with when I was using, and I still have my DSLR camera that did video, is I had a microphone on a wire that I could plug right in and then run over discreetly and have it close to the person, because that makes a world of difference. It does, it does. Anyway, all right. Put that there. I'm just looking to see what's what. Yes. As I remember, keyboard connector, monitor connector, power connector. And then there's this other connector very much like this one. And somehow or another, when doing a super pet, I think the cords plug into both of them. But there's either a pin missing on this, or or it's just not. That's the way it is. That's the way it is. Anyway, I need to go back to the pool room and find more treasures. And I think I hear Penny. Penny! Penny, why don't you come here and say hello? No, she's not having it.
That was easy.
So, time to charge the microphone and look for more things. Thanks for coming to the world of Commodore, otherwise known as the Twilight Zone. Oh! And I'll also charge the phone in between recordings. Thanks for coming. Bye for now.